Libs of TikTok on X. Arizona college caught secretly pushing DEI. New undercover footage shows ASU official admitting that the college is still secretly pushing DEI in defiance of Trump's EOs and state policies. This college needs to be defunded and investigated. Now, to be clear, this is ASU being caught, but I could pretty much guarantee you that any major college is doing the same exact thing. Now, this is just a clip of the video. I got the whole video here. It's actually not many people have watched it yet, but this is a very big deal. ASU exposed. Associate Director of Criminal Justice admits they still push banned DEI. It's from Accuracy in Media, and this is a banger undercover video. Let's see what they have to say here.
To be a little bit more on the liberal side, but you're not going to see the
DEI language.
You really are not. The curriculum is there still. It's just not. It's not as broadcast as it was before. You know, you have to be very careful with the language that you use.
So communists are never just going to change when you tell them, "Hey, stop being a communist." What they're going to do is, how do we find a way around the new rules so that we can still be a communist?
We're doing pretty much what we were doing before.
You were explaining to our investigator that you're just continuing things how they were done previously. Is that
Look at her eyes. Did you see her eyes? Look at her eyes. She's like, oh, fuck.
Things how they were done previously. Is that true?
Arizona State University has been dealing with federal bans on DEI, Board of Regents bans on DEI, even a lawsuit related to it. Yet our investigators met with administrator after administrator who bragged to us about continuing to push these radical ideas even when they're against the law.
No.
Well, here's the problem. If there's no repercussions for being illegal or doing things against the law or committing fraud, why would you not keep doing it? Like that's the problem. Is there the same thing was happening with Minnesota with Tim Walz right now. If there's no repercussions to what he did, what's that tell the next generation of people taking his place? Well, shit, we can do the same thing.
Like, as far as what the curriculum looks like diversity and inclusivity, you know what I mean? I don't know if that's still a thing in criminal justice.
There is a lot of that involved.
Rebecca Loftus is an associate teaching professor and associate director at the School of Criminology and Criminal Justice. So she works in the law department. Who would have thunk? A crooked lawyer.
Report that your department was doing DEI in defiance of the federal executive order. Is that true?
Look at her. Look at her.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I have no idea. What? Let me play dumb right now.
Well, is this you on the video right here?
I was hoping to find out exactly that, like if there's still inclusive curriculum in the criminal justice programs. And
I think that there definitely is that within the curriculum, although you're not going to see the reference as predominant as it was perhaps 2 years ago.
Okay.
But it's still very much a part of the conversation.
Okay.
Wow. What can I even add to that? Holy.
And so and we even have it's called the Idea Office.
Okay.
You know, that designing our classes so that they are.
So they literally have a office that is designated to work around the laws to inject DEI still. Like, there are people designated to find out what they can do to skirt around DEI. Holy.
Are more accessible to everybody. That,
Okay.
That we are celebrating the diversity of our students and the populations that we serve.
Yeah.
So it's still part of this college and it's still part of this school, but you're not going to see the
DEI.
So nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. This is one of those, they need to take a hard stance. They're supposed to tell students, no, that is not what we do here. We abide by the law. We want to push forward the truth and justice. What she's saying is anything but that right now.
You really are not.
Okay.
It's how do we get our lawmakers to look at the research, and how do we change our practices?
Look at the research, like what? Trust the science with COVID. Those same people.
Discriminatory towards certain communities,
Right.
things of that sort. So it's there, but I think that you're not going to find very many programs that are going to broadcast it the way it was before, because that the funding for universities, especially state-run universities like ASU, it's really tied to funding. And if you have federal funds that are withheld, it really makes a big impact. So the curriculum is there still. It's just not. It's not as broadcast as it was before. We've seen a lot of maybe not interruptions in funding, but it is something that the college is very cognizant of, that things have changed, and so you have to be very careful with the language that you use. You have to be, so
AKA, we still need to push exactly what we want to push, but we can't say it the way we were, which reminds me a lot of the Bridge program.
Things like that. So I mean, there's definitely a change in administration, and so because of executive orders, because of not as many laws that have been passed, but really it's the executive orders. Everything just kind of like
Okay. I didn't realize that, so that's good to know. But it sounds like ASU is pretty
like this girl that is the undercover narc here. She's literally putting it on a tee. Like, you got to know, if you're this Rebecca Loftus girl, that obviously this girl could be a plant. The way she's asking the questions, and she still falls hook, line, and sinker for it. Like, she's excited to push it on her.
with most other universities, we're doing pretty much what we were doing before.
So nothing's changed.
You were explaining to our investigator that you're just continuing things how they were done previously, maybe just changing some of the names, nothing more. You don't call it the diversity office, you change the names. Is that true?
I have no idea. You'll have to talk to our director.
This college particularly has, because
that's what they do. They get caught red-handed, and then they play stupid because they have nothing to say to it.
We have a majority minority student body. And if you look at the community that we serve is majority minority. We still have a diversity office. We still we still the college has a diversity office. The college has
it's still a diversity office.
We have it's called the IDEA office, and so it's like inclusivity and course design, and promoting diversity.
So literally nothing has changed.
And so we still have that as part of our college.
And the IDEA department composes curriculum.
The IDEA office is like it's a central office that gives faculty with a toolbox of how to include these items.
So what this tells me is, ironically, the higher education field is no different than game development. The hierarchy, the cult-like mentality, the hiring of similar people of similar mindsets to push communistic thoughts throughout the entire organization from the top down. It's a virus that has infected these fields. I'm sure there are many other fields that have been infected by it as well. But think about this for a second. If you're a teacher that strongly opposes these kind of ideals, how's that going to work out when you have any kind of meetings and conversations with the rest of these people? They're going to push you out of the organization as quickly as possible, because to them, it's like humans acting like a virus to attack the white blood cells. Ironic.
These points into your classes, because for a lot of faculty, it's not something that they're necessarily as having conversations about race and having conversations about discrimination and having those are not conversations that a lot of people really very there's a lot of research in this area. We have classes that talk about discrimination and race, ethnicity, and crime. We have a discrimination and criminal justice. We have gender and crime.
Yeah,
And, because
This girl's not even saying this. She's just like yelling her to death. Like she doesn't care. And she's still going on.
Problem for multiple populations.
Right. And
Yeah.
we have entire classes that are devoted to that. So, some instructors are going to pay more attention to that than
they're trying so hard to raise a generation, getting to the kids to think like they do, so that more people vote Democrat, vote communistic, vote spreading wealth, vote that type of mentality. It's disgusting. Like they don't want to promote capitalism. Ironically, like the thing you go to school for, to better yourself so that you can get a job over somebody else. Coming out of school, they're just like, no, none of that. We're going to just make sure you are average with everyone else.
Others,
right.
But it's there. Go to the faculty meetings. If you go to the meetings, we have all college meetings where we get the dean will be talking about this. This is always something that is part of what the dean shares with us. It is also something that we usually have somebody from the IDEA office talking to our faculty at faculty meetings. So it is there. And I think that most of our faculty tend to be a little bit more, which is kind of weird for criminal justice department. Most of our faculty do tend to be a little bit more on the liberal side. So
shocking. You don't say.
So they are more willing to talk about these kinds of issues.
Right.
You would think that with a criminal justice program, you would have a lot more faculty that kind of sway a little bit more to the conservative side.
Is your department in compliance of the executive order banning DEI?
You're going to have to talk to our director.
That's not, I have nothing to do with that, sir.
But you said a lot of words here that suggested perhaps that things were continuing just as they did before, just maybe changing the wording slightly. Did you mean?
First off, fire her immediately after this video gets out there. Secondly, huge, massive investigation at the entire college from the top down, by the way, because this needs to get out there. As a parent, there ain't no way in hell I'm letting my kids go to this school ever, like at all, unless the school is like, we are going to do a full investigation and handle the people that are acting the way they did in this video. We're going to flush this out and correct this massive gaping problem at our school with our faculty. Don't hold your breath for that.
You're going to have to talk to our director.
You're going to be hard pressed to
someone
find
else. I don't know.
Instructors using the terminology of DEI. But you're going to definitely hear about discriminatory practices. And
so what these people do, they take advantage of the home of the free, home of the brave, sorry, land of the free, home of the brave. They take advantage to say, hey, I thought this was America. We're allowed to discuss whatever ideas we want. We're not North Korea. It's like, true. But if you don't gatekeep these people out, they will fucking turn it into North Korea as quick as they can. The irony.
How we have communities that, certain policies are going to target different communities and really going to have negative consequences for particular communities than others. And how certain policies are definitely geared, they're much more harsh for female offenders versus male offenders and, things like that. The inequality, crime, and justice is, it really talks about so many of the areas just systemically where there is discriminatory practices, unequal application of the law, laws and policies that just have they seem to target different communities differently. But it's not just, but it includes race, gender, immigration status, and disability, and so
everything.
many.
Because what they do is they label people that lean right as the danger, and then they try to put them in a box and lock them away to gatekeep them out of any positions of power or authority, because they understand it's not about money to control people. It's about power. With power comes the money and decision-making to keep control.
race. And then we have classes that are just on gender, classes that are just on race. Those
Okay.
are electives, but the inequality, crime, and justice is required. I would say that for a lot of our classes, if you take a class that is taught by one of our full-time instructors versus a faculty associate, you're going to see more emphasis on that and a lot more comfort talking about those things. But some of our faculty associates are very comfortable talking about these things. I have a colleague that used to be full-time. Now he's part-time because he's sort of retired, but
Good for
he
him.
loves teaching the race and ethnicity and justice class. He loves having these conversations.
Would you like to provide some more
He
context?
loves teaching kids about using the color of your skin to gain an advantage. He loves it.
From what you said here, because in this video you were pretty clear about it.
You're gonna have to talk to our director.
That's gonna
Have a
leave.
great day.
Like,
So it's
hey,
so
hey, nice window office. Enjoy it. Take it in while you can, lady.
Amazing. When they think you're an ideological ally, they are more than happy to share everything with you. And our investigators, they don't know these people for a long period of time. They meet them briefly, and immediately these folks brag about ignoring federal executive orders, ignoring Board of Regents rules, how they put their ideology before everything else. Well, that's why we use hidden camera investigative journalism. Take action right now by clicking on the link below this video, where you can send one message that goes directly to all the relevant elected officials. It's time to put an end to federal funding of DEI in education.
Wow.
If you liked our work and you want to see more investigations from Accuracy in Media, click in the link and make a tax-deductible contribution right now.
This was a legit, very well done expose, exposing ASU. I'm gonna give them a subscribe. Actually, they were legit. I didn't know what to expect going into this. Holy crap! ASU needs to do a full internal investigation thoroughly and publicly expose these people to light. Talk about what the problem was, and only then can you start recovering. But right now, holy crap. You know what the scariest part about all this is? It's not just ASU. This is but one example of the entire higher education system that we're dealing with right now. But it is slowly coming to light right now. And at least it feels like the pendulum is starting to swing. And I have hope. But for now, I'll leave that one there.